Fisher's been great his last two starts. Limited to 60 to 65 pitches generally, but he's gotten 5 scoreless his last 2 times out.
Swing and a miss from Gavin Cash. He's the DH today, a junior, 6'3", 210. He had a couple of hits last night. And a couple of changes in each lineup, and that one is way inside, brushed him back. Fisher has started 6 games. He's made 9 appearances in 23 innings, 18 hits, 5 earned runs. Here's the next one on a slow roll at a second. It's charged by Stovall, who will throw to first, and that'll be 1 out on Gavin Cash. So we'll tell you, Stovall's at second. Ben McLaughlin, after a very good night offensively, is at first base. Mahiva Aloy is at short. Nolan Souza, who came on to get that sacrifice fly game-winning RBI last night's at third. Jason Jones had a couple of hits last night. He's in left. Peyton Holt is in center, and Ross Lovich gets the start in right. Parker Rowland behind the plate. TJ Pompey now up, and the breaking ball misses away. Wind, which was a factor last night, is much, much calmer today. Fastball on the ground is short. Aloy on a couple of hops throws over for the second out. Pretty good exit velocity off the bat at 108. It was a worm burner, though. It never came up, and Aloy stayed down on it. Couple of kids on the left side. Both Aloy and Souza are from Hawaii.
One of the second and third Hawaii natives to ever play for Arkansas. Souza, the freshman, upside is through the roof. Aloy, the sophomore transfer from Sac State.
Kevin Bazell, he swings at the first one. Oh, what a play by Souza with the backhand. Aloha means inning over. Aloy and Souza. And fence. Parker's first pitch sails high and away. He'll be followed by Peyton Holt and then Ben McLaughlin, the first baseman. That's called strike. Mark Wagers is going to do the balls and strikes today. They move around. Greg Harmon to first base. Seth Buckminster's at second, and Javero January is the umpire at 30 at the plate last night. On the 1-1. This ball is driven to right field. He's watching it. Say so long. Oh, what a shot off the bat of Peyton Stovall. A no-doubter. 1-0 Arkansas. "406 feet later, it finally touched down.
We talked about it last night. Peyton Stovall's finally healthy. Missed the first 2.5, 3 weeks of the season with a broken foot. He's now been a mainstay in this lineup, team captain, and there's a little bit of flash there. Got to change up. The backside was pretty impressive on that. Gave with it, let that ball travel a little bit, then hammered it to right. One swing, Hogs are on the board.
I don't think the wind was going to keep that in the ballpark last night either. Here's Peyton Holt, the center fielder. First pitch, fastball in there. The fastball will be right around 86 to 89. That's a loud start. That is announcing your presence.
Yes.
With some authority.
In the leadoff spot.
Good breaking pitch, and he fouled it off. 0-2. Yeah, last year hurt. This year missed the first 12 games. But having a healthy Stovall is the guy that really does get this team going. I mean, McLaughlin and Aloy have put up some big numbers. Souza's capable, but Stovall's key. End of the bat, foul ball. They hope to have Kendall Diggs back this weekend. He's one of the 3 captains on the team, 12 homers, 63 RBI last year. And it is a team capable, if they can hit consistently with the pitching and defense they play, to go to Omaha and perhaps bring back a championship for Dave Van Horn. There is Kendall Diggs, 6-22 this year. A little down year Shoulder's been bothering him a little bit, and you can tell just recently by the games and the performance offensively in those games, but they think some rest will hopefully recharge him. Late and look out.
What do you got? You got a game plus now to take in Baum-Walker. You had a walk-off last night. Home crowd got into it.
Yeah. It's different. It's different because Mississippi State, another one of those places that rocks. Ole Miss is phenomenal. It just as a facility, I mean, it looks like a major league ballpark. Yeah. It's so well done. And that addition over there in right field of the JB and Janelle Hunt Family Baseball Development Center, like 49,000 square feet. You know, that's going to the nicest hotel in the nicest city and having every accommodation you could imagine. They pointed out where the food is and all the nutritional stuff. Like you could never leave there and live for 1,000 years. Up the middle on 2 hops. Pompey, 1 down.
All right, so it's a changeup watch here, but I want you to watch the backside to back leg. Watch him go all the way down, and by the time he makes contact, that back leg's almost touching the dirt. I mean, that is getting in your legs on that off-speed pitch. That's you can't teach it any better than that. You stand straight up, you're probably going to swing over the top. There's no way to create the kind of power that Stovall did right there. No doubter onto the roof in right field to start it.
McLaughlin, the first baseman. Good start with a strike. Good size here. Senior 6'3", 210, Golden, Colorado. He really is taken off offensively, and we saw a good performance last night. Talking with some of the Texas Tech folks, you know, their problem last night, amongst a few, was the inability with 2 strikes or 2 outs to put Arkansas away. Arkansas's made a pretty good habit of hitting and having success with 2 outs. Their batting average with 2 outs is .295. Like, they hit almost .300 with 2 outs.
As a club, they hit .277, so they're hitting better with 2 outs than they are any other time.
Hudson Parker ready. He delivers a little high. Seven home runs for McLaughlin, 125 at bats, and that is outside. .30 walks and only 19 strikeouts. Terrific. A lot of play. There's another walk, and that's why he has more walks than strikeouts this year, 31, and only 19 Ks. McLaughlin is on. This is Vahiva Aloy, the shortstop, sophomore, 6'2", 200. And there is some serious pop in his bat. 18th pitch of the inning. Too high, ball 1. Yeah, that facility out there, too. I mean, with all the first-round draft picks, with all the major leaguers from Arkansas, many of them come back and use it all the time. Some for a couple of weeks, some for the entire offseason.
You know, you're seeing that with a lot of the top programs around the country because they have the ability. I mean, the analytical stuff is in there. They can prepare for spring training in the season just as good there as you could if you go to Florida or Arizona early.
1-1 to Aloy. Looked pretty good. It's called a ball.
Got a little trivia question for you when we come out in the top of the second. Let you mentally prepare here for a minute.
What's the subject matter on that?
I can't do that. I've given you enough of a lead. It's as far as I can go. I'm going to ask you a question.
2 balls, 1 strike. Ahiva Aloy on the ground. Could be 2. Burns, Pompey. It is. With that, some relatives that have played Major League Baseball playing here today. This one to right center. It's going to get down. How about 6 for his last 6? Turn it on, Austin Green. Man, that looks like a beach ball to him. Stand-up double to start.
How much did he raise his average by yesterday?
31 points.
We're still heading north right here and not wasting any time. First pitch fastball on the outside part of the plate. And that is the one thing with Fisher. He's shown the ability to fill up the strike zone for the most part. Austin Green waiting for it right there, and Texas Tech trying to answer back with a leadoff double here in a second.
Good power here. Drew Woodcox, 9 homers on the season. First pitch buried inside. Ball 1. Are you waiting on the trivia? You're trying to figure out how to phrase it?
Sometimes the environment just kind of tells you when the right time is. We're not quite there yet.
All right.
I think we're there now. So how long do you think the first half of the first inning took? First pitch to when it hit the glove at third base.
3 ground balls from first pitch. I'm going to say 5 minutes and 28 seconds.
2 minutes and 4 seconds.
I should have said 2. I told you I was going to answer with 2.
Then you got scared of it and you ran away from it.
2 minutes and 4 seconds from first pitch to third out.
2-4 in the first inning. This one may take a little bit longer.
Yeah. Wow. That seems virtually impossible.
However, it happened.
I love that question.
More later on in the broadcast.
Yeah, no, I can see how we would come up with those. So that home run that was hit by Stovall traveled 406 feet. Do you know how many more feet Jack Caglione hit one last night?
A mere 110.
This is Landon Stripling. And that's in there for a strike. So a double and a walk to get things going. Texas Tech trailing 1-0, but in business with nobody out. And that's going to go out of play. Yeah, and if you're down the right field, look out, man goes man down, man back up, but man down in his pursuit of the ball. If you're over there and you're looking up and the ball's coming, you're taking cover. I saw a few dart underneath because you can't see the sun. The ball gets lost up there. That's high. The wind's blowing there. There's all sorts of factors going into a ball hit up in the air into foul territory on the third base side.
Good take by Stripling. That's where Fisher wants to throw that breaking ball 1-2. Started on the plate, let it finish off. If you can get a swing, great. But Landon Stripling's worked it back to a 2-2 count.
280 on the season, 3 homers, and he got jammed and he fouled it off to stay alive. What about Uncle Ross? Uncle Ross has had a very long career. He's one of the great people to put on your list to talk to. Very smart, loves to go deep into the numbers, business acumen. On the 2-2, and this ball is hit to center, fairly deep with some carry, and circling it right in front of the track, and here comes the throw into third, cut off by Aloy to second, and both runners advance. Good heads-up base running, Austin Green and Drew Woodcox on Stripling's long fly to left.
I think that throw's got to go to second base every time. I mean, you got no chance to throw anybody out at third. I'm not sure if you're going to throw Woodcox out at second, but you at least have a chance, and if he stops halfway if he sees the throws headed that way. But instead, read that the ball was headed towards third. A good read right there, and Tech's got 2 in scoring position with just 1 out.
Yeah, for Cade McGee, 284 in the season. Swings at the first one, and all right, here we go with the sun. This thing is up there a mile. And who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Nobody's going to get it. It went off the glove of Stovall right next to the shortstop Eloy. And just as we had talked about with the foul balls on the third base side, you are staring up into the sun. Eloy never saw it. It almost hit him.
And if he does see it, this is his ball the entire time. You can see Eloy looking up, and he's searching, then he's gone. And that look right there to Stovall, and you can't hear what was said, but it sounds like something was said to let him know that he lost it. When he looked up and that glove wasn't over his eyes, then trying to find it again usually doesn't work out well.
So one run is in, breaking ball in there to Owen Washburn. Now, I watched Eloy. He never saw the baseball. And to your point about the play in the outfield, they get one in. The runner did not advance from second base, but they have first and second again. What a helpless feeling for Eloy. And Stovall, it's a weird one, right? So the error's on the second baseman who's fielding a baseball where the shortstop stands.
And it's moving away from him. I mean, any wind that there is going to push that away from Stovall, and he just flipped the glove out at the end to try to get it. Night game, that's probably Eloy sitting and waiting underneath it.
Yep. Washburn up the middle. Eloy, did he get the bag?
That was pretty.
That is a double play. Kicked it on the way by.
Break.
In a 1-1 game. Swings at the first one, and it is fouled off. So Dave Van Horn told me yesterday, you know, he's one of these guys, when you see them in the uniform, they just look like a major leaguer.
Yeah,
Gabe Kapler looked like a major leaguer in a uniform. Well, Nolan Souza had his shirt ripped off last night because he drove in the winning run. And you could see he can fill out a uniform.
He can fill a uniform out, and he can absolutely fly. I mean, he can play about anywhere that you want him to. They've eased him into it a little bit, but yet the numbers for the freshman so far have been impressive his first time through. This is 22nd start, hitting .314, 6 home runs with an OPS over 1,000.
The ball he hit last night to right sent the right fielder. They played 5 infielders to try to keep a ball in the infield and get what was a bases-loaded situation force out at home. The ball hit last night. I heard Van Horn say after the game, no wind. That had a chance to actually go out of the ballpark. It ended up blowing back towards the infield. And this one is hammered to left field. Back goes Woodcocks, and forget that one. Souza, opposite field power. Second home run of the game for the Hogs. They lead it 2-1, and that is strong.
Get a chance to be a star by the time he's done here, man. The physical tools are through the roof. Hit tool continues to get better, and he didn't even get that. I mean, this is a day to where if a left-hander backspins it to left field, that wind's going to help you. Souza just shows you how strong he is. He doesn't need to get it all. They didn't sneak out either. That carried over the Texas Tech bullpen to give the Hogs the lead back.
376 feet on that. Here's Wagner, the designated hitter. 2 for 2 last night. So the leadoff hitters, both the first and second inning, Stovall and Souza, go yard for Arkansas. Wagner only 29 at bats. And a slow roller that's going to go foul. 10 hits, though. And he's hitting .345 on the season. 3 homers, 7 RBI. So our producer today is Kevin Clark, and he has brought up the analogy between a golfer sinking a putt and then all of a sudden the hole gets bigger, or a basketball player, you know, making his first or her first shot and then the basket gets bigger. Any carryover potential from the offensive performance last night in this search for consistency. It's a pretty darn good start today, understanding midweek, etc.
It doesn't hurt, that's for sure. I mean, coming off a weekend where they scored 8 runs total. Last night they scored 9. Now you get solo home runs in the first and the second. I mean, this is – if you just saw that swing, you didn't see anything else. If you just saw the swing.
Fly out to left.
There's no way you think that ball carries out. And again, I know the wind's going to help a little bit. I mean, that carried out by 30 feet. It went over the bullpen. Just wait till it gets more.
This is Ross Lovich. He did not play last night. He's the right fielder, the senior out of Overland Park, Kansas. 6 feet, 185. On the 1-0. High chopper, foul. Yeah, so it can't hurt. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think it can. I mean, again,
I don't think if you score 8 and you have 2 home runs in the first 2 innings, like anyone's going to say, well, that's going to hurt you. We know that it can't hurt you. The question is,
it will help.
Is it something that can help?
I mean, everybody starts carrying themselves a little bit different. Everybody thinks they're a little bit better, and that's a positive. When you talk to Dave Van Horn and his Arkansas coaching staff, and you met with him for a while yesterday, and then we talked to him on the field, the one thing they consistently say is, we think our offense has a significant jump in it. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're starting to see that right now.
2-1 popped up, playable on the infield as long as the sun doesn't cause a problem, and it didn't there for McGee, who had a really good game last night. I will say, though, that as you walk through the building over there to Dave Van Horn, who's, got the corner and office. He's got the big one. But along the way, you pass Matt, you pass the hitting coach, you pass them all. They're pouring over their computer, like pouring over the numbers. And I jokingly said, so you're trying to figure what out? He goes, everything, but the offense in particular, like mad scientists up there trying to figure out what the best combo is, the order, the matchups. I listened to Souza's post-game last night. He was told early, maybe in the 6th, 7th inning, if so-and-so comes in, you're going to be the pinch hitter. That's what happened in the inning in which he walked it off with the sac fly. It's not like you and I preparing for a game, you come out here and just throw it up. I mean, they have thoughts behind. They really think it through.
Just throwing ourselves under the bus right there.
This is Jason Jones. That's a breaking pitch that he missed by a lot.
He hammered 2 balls last night.
He did.
Double to center, double to left center.
Same pitch he did not offer, so it's 2-2. 6'2", 215. Texas product. He's a sophomore. 3 long balls, 13 RBIs. And a bat that Dave Van Horn identified as one they think they could get going, but not there as he chased the slider away.
Head to Lexington.
Kentucky's been special. Mingione's team has played great. 1 loss, leading their division.
Well, Texas Tech will head home, and they get the Mountaineers. West Virginia coming to Lubbock this weekend. J.J. Weatherholt is back in that lineup. Weatherholt should be a first-round pick, so that changes West Virginia.
I didn't read that he re-injured himself, did he?
He missed some time.
No, but I mean like last night.
I did not see that. He was in the lineup. I guess maybe let's say that.
Fisher just missed.
I have not seen word either. Travis Bazzana got hit with a pitch yesterday and had a soft cast onto the dugout at the back end of the game. So I didn't see an update there, but that would not be good news for Oregon State.
That's a good piece of hitting there. Will Burns in the 9-hole delivers a single.
Well, we'll see. We saw Will Burns come in as a pinch runner last night. First pitch that was thrown, he was off and running, stole second base for his first stolen base of the year. Super athletic, walk-on quarterback as well, but upside on the baseball side is significant.
So to just follow up. So Weatherholt left last night's game in the 3rd inning.
Okay.
But it appears as if Macy was making sort of light of the situation as he came to me in the 3rd and said, "Coach, I haven't eaten since breakfast. I'm hungry. I sent him across the street to Buffalo Wild Wings to get some dinner." Kind of not addressing the situation. This one's hit hard to right. It's going to get down in front of Lovich and 1st and 2nd. So Burns on, Cash delivers, back-to-back singles.
And Lovich playing deep and right. That wind is set down. The flag's hardly moving right now, but normal depth, he's probably got a chance to make that play. Top spin liner to right, but instead waits back and is back-to-back singles here for Texas Tech with the meat of the order coming up.
Same thing last inning. The 2 first hitters both got on. Here's Pompey. Squaring, bunting back to the pitcher. Fisher has one play in time. Not an easy play because Pompey can move, but he does move the runners up.
That is the 2nd sack bunt this year for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Total.
Didn't think there'd be a lot.
Tracer Lopez had the only one, and I think you're probably more willing to do it with Pompey because of that.
Speed.
He can fly.
Big chance for the number 3 hitter, Kevin Bizzell, grounded to 3rd his first time up. There's one out. Swings and sends this down the line in right. It's going to be close. It's a fair ball over the wall. Ground rule double. Both runs will score on Kevin Bizzell's double. And just like that, Texas Tech back on top.
I'll tell you what, offensively, and we saw more of this last night, but Texas Tech is going up there and they're hacking. Expecting that Fisher's going to be around the zone. He has. Bizzell just one pitch after the sack punt. Gets a fastball elevated, just misses driving it out of the ballpark, but one hops out and gives the Red Raiders a lead back.
Austin Green, can he keep it going? Well, he tried there. First pitch, he swings and fouls it back. So we talked with Matt Hobbs before the game yesterday about the value of a midweek series against a team like Texas Tech. And he said, well, we really want to figure out just kind of how tough we are. We think we're tough, but we want to learn. I figured last night was a big positive step in that direction. But you're going to be tested. You know, your pitching staff is going to be tested against an offense like this. It happened last night. It's happening again today. You agree? Is there something to be taken from a series like this, even when you're getting beaten around a little bit?
It's a regional setting. Yeah. I mean, you're facing a team that's going to be in a regional unless something changes. Latest D1 projections came out today for the postseason, had Texas Tech as a 3 seed going to Wake, and Arkansas a top 8 national seed. But Tech's got a chance to move that number over the next 3-4 weeks. You get West Virginia. They still have to go to Stillwater.
On the infield, and it is Stovall there to make a tricky play. The wind start.
Not a gimme if it's in the air in the infield.
Arkansas's got some action in the bullpen as Drew Woodcock steps up. In there for a strike. Cody Frank, one of those guys throwing. Slow bender. That also gets a little piece of the dish. You don't have those guys that are out there pumping 95 to 98. It does present sort of unique challenges for the offense. 1-2. And there is a good example of it. Woodcock's down on strikes with a 7. Parker Rowland leads things off. He does not have a home run yet. He doesn't have a whole bunch of plate appearances either. 14 at bats. He's got 3 hits. Right field, fairly deep, little bit off the end of the bat. And for a second it felt like we had Joker and a triple, but no. Comes up just short of being the 3rd man to lead off the inning with a homer. Did you know right away, or did you think like, oh?
I was waiting for your call. I wanted to see where you went with that. I thought there was a chance.
It probably would have had something to do with Joker and a triple.
And you got it in anyway.
Stovall does have a homer, and his was a no-doubter. He went rooftop on us in right. Ball one. Two balls, no strikes. Stay tuned. Hagen Smith is going to join us. We will talk with the ace and arguably top 1-2 pitchers in the country and a top 5 draft pick for sure. It certainly seems today like that would be the case. He will join us. He has just been an absolute stud at the top of this rotation for Arkansas. Two one. Rob Vaughn, of course, the coach of Alabama. Did you see the analogy he used about facing Hagen Smith? He said, the way wolves hunt is they surround the buffalo. 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4. They surround the buffalo. One grabs one leg, one grabs the other, one jumps on his back, and finally one guy up and grabs him by the throat and brings him down. That's how they hunt. That's how they survive. That's how they eat. That's how our offense has to work against Hagen Smith. Just went all wolf analogy.
Good plan. The problem is nobody's really been able to do that consistently to Hagen Smith this year. 9 starts, 47 innings, 89 strikeouts. He's walked just 17 and an ERA in the mid.
After this one, South Carolina on the docket for Arkansas. Pitch 46. Hold hard on the ground, stays down, little bobble, but Pompey throws the double play ball to first. Hit pretty hard, man. 104 miles an hour to wolves and hunting and a leg. And did you ever feel like you were being attacked by wolves in Alabama?
No, not really. I mean, they were a good offense. They had a really good approach all weekend. They didn't really swing anything in the dirt, so, I mean, they just got on top of our fastball, and I think they played really good.
So you threw a lot more cutters in that game than sliders, right? And that was a different approach. Talk about your development here as we stare out at the Hunt Family Development Center and all the tools you have. Give us a little peek, because we're going to be talking about you draft day, about the way you've grown as both a pitcher and a person.
Yeah, it's awesome here. I mean, when I came here as a freshman, I was tiny. I wasn't tiny, but came a long way, just getting in the weight room. Coach Bell came in here last year and kind of got after it. I mean, came down, set it with the plan, and we just kind of executed it. It was awesome.
I was talking to Matt Hobbs a few weeks ago, and he was talking about your summer last year when you got back from Team USA and the commitment to the weight room and everything else since then. How do you think that's made you better, and how are you different this year than you were last year?
Yeah, I think the weight room's helped for my mechanics, honestly, just using my legs more. I know I had a hard time last year. I kept getting out of my legs when I was going down the mound. So this year just kind of helps me hold my ground a little better.
All right, I'm more interested in what you're doing to get big, because I saw the whole nutrition center. Like, what do you bury? What do you eat? What's your game plan?
I don't know. I kind of cook a lot. So,
you cook a lot?
Yeah, I try to.
All right, so, I mean, if you got one thing, like your favorite thing you're going to make, where are we going?
Oh, me personally, maybe a steak.
Yeah. All right, so now we really got to get to brass tacks here. So when you cook a steak, how do you like it?
Medium rare. I knew
yeah, boom, there you go.
Attaboy. Right. Correct answer.
You're talking to two guys up here that really enjoy it kind of bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Got to.
Hey, kind of dorky pitching stuff here, but what is it between starts? What's your process? What's it look like from last week until getting you to Friday?
I threw a bullpen yesterday, just kind of like 15 and 20 pitches. I don't use TrackMan or anything during my midweek bullpens because we get a big report from everything we did over the weekend. So I did, and then today, I actually lifted yesterday after my bullpen. So today off, and then tomorrow off in the weight room, and then I'll do a primer lift in the morning Friday.
Does anybody run polls anymore?
No, no, not at all.
But Ravage is looking at me like I'm 87 years old. But, yeah, that was the worst. Like, day after it was 20 poles. Thankfully, that's been retired.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I ran quite a few poles back in my high school days, but not anymore.
That's good.
Speaking of high school, right, you had Tommy John surgery back in 2019, right? And then the pandemic came, so you really didn't lose a lot of on-field time. But take us back a few years and to how you recovered from that, because as you know, there's a whole bunch of conversation about pitchers and arm injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got lucky, I'd say, as we didn't get to play, but it was obviously devastating for all my other teammates. But for me, just kind of like realizing how I work as my body, doing PT and everything, just kind of helped a lot.
So we're going to have the draft this summer. Your name's going to be called. Like, when did you start to think about being a baseball player? Forget the draft. This isn't like, like, what age did you think, baseball, that's what I want to do?
I don't know. I mean, I've always played a bunch of sports growing up, and until probably about my sophomore year of high school, I played really just basketball and baseball. And then until then, I stopped playing basketball my sophomore year.
So when were you able to dunk the basketball?
Not till my senior year of high school. I just play around the gym and just go dunk. But I probably could now, but I haven't tried in forever.
Mookie Betts. When do you think Mookie Betts could dunk a basketball? I just asked him Sunday. Not crazy. It's not crazy, but when do you think he could dunk a basketball?
Senior year of high school.
Yeah, sophomore year of high school.
Was it?
Yeah.
How tall is Mookie?
Oh, man.
5'11"?
No.
5'10"?
Sorry, he's not.
5'9"?
Yeah.
He's a crazy athlete.
He's
a crazy athlete.
Ridiculously great at athletics. That was the whole premise of the Mookie conversation. Who's your favorite Major League Baseball player?
I don't know. I like watching a lot of pitchers, probably most lefties. I like Kershaw a lot.
Do you?
How about Keuchel? Did you ever get to spend any time with Keuchel? Has he come back at all?
I haven't seen him since I've been here, but yeah, he was pretty good.
Do you ever imagine the facility that you get a chance to utilize at a collegiate level?
No, it's crazy. I mean, my freshman year was the first year we got in this building. I mean, it's awesome. I've never seen anything like it.
I will tell you, you don't want to stay in A-ball very long because the travel's a little bit different. It's hotel's a little bit different, clubhouse a little bit different.
Oof. Fisher
Souza
couldn't get it.
Yeah,
Souza couldn't get it.
Souza pulled up, and that's the ones at third base, but you just got to go get it until somebody yells at you. So the left side of your infield, I mean, both kids from Hawaii, obviously Aloy the transfer and Souza the freshman. Souza goes deep today. Talk about those guys, because Souza to me looks like, both of them, but Souza looks like the upside's through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool having both guys from Hawaii on the same team and playing a lot together. Souza, I mean, you just look at him, he looks like a big leaguer. So and Vahiva too. You got a long ways to go with them, so it's gonna be awesome they can stay here for a few more years, or a couple for Vahiva.
Has there been an invite yet?
Yeah, you got to mix in Thanksgiving over there or something.
Yeah, I asked Vahiva about it. He's my locker mate, so I want to go bad. I've never been.
So you asked him what was the answer?
Yes.
It's good.
I go stay with him or something.
Think I can stay with you? I don't know. We'll see.
Hagen Smith joining us here with 2 down. Infield single there for Washburn. Will Burns singled his first time up the other way, and this one is rolled foul. Tell me what you think the potential for the club is, what you think they need to kind of improve on, work on in order to peak.
I just think staying consistent. I mean, for our team, we just got to show up to the yard every day. I mean, it's hard to do. It sounds easy when I say it, but show up every day and try to win every single game. That's your pitch.
Swing and a miss. Hey, we really appreciate you doing that. We know we'll talk again probably, hopefully, in Omaha for your sake and certainly around the draft as well.
Sure,
At all, Omaha, homers.
Man, yeah, it's a good environment. It's back in 16 and 14. It's a good environment to play baseball. So guys bring it up here and there, but I'm trying to be where my feet are. That's pretty much it. But, yeah, no, it's fun.
Does it give you an appreciation for how hard it is to get there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Teams get better. Any team gets better deep in the season and start playing really good baseball, and it's tough. It's tough. So whenever you get there, you're facing teams that play clean baseball and try to win, try to go pitch to pitch.
So, Eric, for you get a chance to play pro ball afterwards, then make the decision to come back, and you've You've been on the coaching side here for a few years now. What's that transition like? How's it been? What have you enjoyed? Maybe what's been difficult?
I think the difficult part was, trying to start coaching and hang them up. But other than that, everything's been fun, honestly. Trying to be around the guys and share experiences and stuff like that, and it's pretty special.
Brendan Lysick, the new pitcher for Texas Tech. Seems to be an offense, we saw it last night, that can put up a bunch of runs. When you look at a team relative to what you guys accomplished years ago in getting to Omaha, what are some of the things that you think has to happen in order for that to happen for this group?
I think it's just pretty much, like I said, just learning how to go pitch to pitch, learning how to go pitch to pitch and enjoying the process, and the outcome will be there. Sometimes any team can get focused on the outcome, but if you focus on the process, the outcome will be there.
Eric Gutierrez, the Director of Operations, if there are people watching, may wonder, what does the Director of Operations do? What are your responsibilities?
A lot of operation here and there, man. It's travel, itinerary, hotel, anything you can think of outside of the coaching part. It's that's what the special ops is doing.
Are you like the player concierge? Like, are you a guy that takes care of these things?
Man, they take care of me.
Does that mean you get the best room? Does that work out that way to where you can just get the suite set aside every time?
You can, but I try to just get a regular room and keep it simple.
Hey, when you got to Tech is when Tim Tadlock started. I think your first year was his first year, if memory's right. The job that he's done in building that program is pretty awesome. I mean, I know the first year is the only losing record he had. After that, you guys go to Omaha in year 2. Why? Like, why has he been this good and had the ability to build the program into what it is?
Man, just, when he got the job and was a freshman, you just believe in the message, and it's a family environment, and you just really believe and want to play for him and play for each other. I think that's what makes it special, to be honest with you. He lets the guys, and at the time let me go out there and play, and not figure it out, but get experience. And with experience, you become, as a team, become better and better as you go.
It wasn't that long ago, obviously, as we showed your highlights, but what are some of the things that you're finding these kids come into the program with, the questions they come with that perhaps, the guys you played either weren't exposed to or weren't asking?
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that again?
Sure, I can. I said when it wasn't that long ago that you played, but there is some time removed. I'm wondering what the kids that show up in the program now are interested in. What do they ask you that maybe you guys didn't ask the guys ahead of you?
Sometimes me and kids get focused, like I said, in the outcome. Hey, how did this happen? How did that happen? And, it's almost just in the process, getting after it every day in and day out, and focusing on the process. I think a lot of social media stuff, YouTube, you can name it, there's a lot of stuff, good stuff out there. And try to listen to everything at once instead of just getting to learn themselves and getting to know, what they need to do out there for them individually to be successful, and as a team, work together, pull for each other.
What are some of the things you encourage them not to pay attention to?
Not to pay attention to?
Yeah.
Well, just the outcome. The outcome. I just remind them to, hey, stay locked in the process. And basically the approach of the game in general.
Hey, it's interesting watching a game from up here as opposed to when you're playing, and I have to assume that there's some similarities to when you're in the dugout for the first time. How do you see the game differently now than maybe you did when you played?
I think it's a lot of when I was playing, you don't worry about yourself, but you're trying to play the best defense that you can or the best offense and pass on the bat or get that ground ball or make a play, and here you're trying to make adjustments as a whole and slow it down, speed it up, whatever need to be done, all those kind of things.
Eric, has the athlete changed? Has the body changed? Has the preparation changed relative to when you played? And again, I think things have changed fairly dramatically in a short period of time. What have you seen?
No, it has. It has. I mean, technology.
Yeah.
Technology. I think that's one biggest thing, that there's a lot of info. You can get a lot of info, and if you could use it the right way, it's good. But you got to know how to use all the right information.
Did you really start every single game when you were there? I feel like I read that today.
I did. Yeah.
4 years, every single game he started.
Every game.
It's pretty good, Rev.
It's an Iron Man type thing. Yeah.
And then home run derby in Omaha afterwards. Was that a bat that you had under your bed at home and was filled with tennis balls in it that you could go use in the home run derby?
No, actually, I picked it up from a camp. I think it was a 35-inch bat, Demarini BSR. At the time they let us in the home run derby, you could use BSR bats, and I think it was big league baseball too. So a good combination. Get jam and it would go out.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Goes a little further.
This guy right here has a chance to be in some home run derbies in the future. This is Nolan Souza already has one, and that's in there for a strike. I thought maybe you were going to say just the bodies of these guys. Their training. They seem to be, certainly at the next level too, just bigger and stronger than they were 5 years ago.
No, absolutely. I think a lot of it, like just in general, in the weight room and everything, technology starts developing, more things come out for what helps the game of baseball to become stronger in those movements or the game, and specifically for that. So athletes have a chance to get better.
Two here to Souza. He pops this thing up on the infield. Sun's been a factor. Doesn't look like it's going to bother Burns much on the infield fly. All right, Eric, we appreciate you joining us, man. Best of luck. Hopefully this team keeps it going, and we'll see you down the road.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good talking to you.
Yeah.
They could play, man.
I remember.
He was a big component of why Texas Tech turned into what they are now. I mean, he stayed 4 years. Obviously, he goes to Omaha twice, start every single game over the course of 4 years.
The DH is Jack Wagner. That's high. Yeah, Gutierrez is another guy. Was Rivera the catcher for Florida when they were going often? Was that
yeah, Mikey might have been there at the back end of that, yeah.
He seemed to play like every game.
Yeah. He's coaching now.
Is he?
He's
yeah,
on Florida staff.
Yeah. Yeah, he was mature. Director of operations, get me the good hotel room. I like that. Wagner sky high left field, covering his face. Woodcocks, he doesn't seem to know where it is. Now he finds it and makes a tough play. It's Wally's World. It's adventure up there, man.
Not comfortable when it goes up in the air. It doesn't matter how deep it is. You've seen one dropped just outside of the infield dirt. Woodcocks maybe thought this ball was going to go a little bit further than it did, too. He ended up about on a dead spread, having to come in and catch it. So, leadoff walk, then a hit by pitch, now 2 flyouts.
Lovich with 2 down, and again, Arkansas has been terrific with 2 outs, almost a 300 team batting average. McLaughlin is out there at second base, and that's a good one in there with a slider to get ahead 0-1. That's 17 inches of horizontal break on it. Pulled the fastball. Initially, Lysick, first 2 guys, the walk, the hit batter, like the body language was kind of heading sideways, and then all of a sudden, he found it and got Souza a huge out and Wagner. And now, is he going to be able to get through the inning? Another really good pitch. Poppy feet on the outfield grass at second base, and that just missed. Swing and a miss, and after giving up the walk and a good chance, if it's early in your career, you're going to have another one. It doesn't guarantee that that first one works or lasts. There's a lot of guys that have had two.
No, I mean, if I don't think it's this simple, but I think it's a major part of the equation. If you go look at average fastball velocity now and go look at average fastball velocity, I mean, even 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it's going to be a massive difference. But even 10 years ago, the reality is,
and the frequency of those.
Yeah, it's the stress that's put on arms, both from a max effort standpoint and just the velocity the guys are throwing now is different than it's ever been historically. So I think it's realistic to assume that there's going to be more injuries because it's harder on your body.
Souza moves into the shift position now between short and second. Hard hit. Nice play over there at first, McLaughlin, and he takes one away on a one-hopper. Yeah, I mean, there is no one particular cause that would lead to the effect of arm injuries, but it does start at the youth level. And if you think about it, the accumulation of everything that goes on is ultimately against your arm being healthy. Literally everything.
There's a reason that our arms hang at our sides, because that's the way they're supposed to work. There's a reason why softball pitchers can pitch back-to-back days and go on, and it's different when you're throwing a baseball overhand. It's more taxing on your arm. I think it's interesting. I mean, you go look at like what Dr. Andrews has said about it and just the number of Tommy Johns he's doing on ninth grade kids, 10th grade kids. I mean, it's that to me is as telling as anything else, that the number of those surgeries and injuries that are happening to kids as they just enter high school, let alone college or pro ball or anything else, is up massively from what it used to be.
Breaking pitch and a good one there as Pompey swings over it. Yeah, Dr. Keith Meister, one of David Cohn's points Sunday night was this internal brace procedure versus the longer-term
Strider
surgery.
just had that, didn't
Just
he?
had that. Gets you back a little bit sooner. So one of the focuses Cohn had would, like, we all understand that these things are in accumulation, and it doesn't appear as if people have figured out a way not to have that. So now do you go to the other side of the equation? All right, now that's going to happen, if you accept that, how do you then fix it quicker? How do you get them back on the field? Can you prehab before you have to rehab, and look at it from that aspect? But collectively, from the major leagues to the Players Association through college and minor league baseball, little league baseball, there's an attempt to limit number of pitches. But you get kids involved with multiple teams, and it goes out the window. And Meister said the same thing about the number of children that he's seeing.
I think the other, and this is, I was talking to Bubba Carpenter before the game about it, is just this focus on velocity at a younger age, and the way that training has changed.
Pompey is a threat to run. That pitch to Bazel's in there for a strike.
But the math is simple. Like, if you throw harder, location matters. So I'm not saying location doesn't matter, but if you throw harder, there's less time to react. I mean, it's a math equation. And so all things being equal, you would prefer velocity over non-velocity. And that's not going to stop. Like, we're not instantly going to have everybody say, you know what, let's not throw as hard.
Let's put a speed limit on pitches.
That won't happen.
Probably not going to happen. Because if you do that, then you're going to have to figure out a way to get guys out and spin it harder. And look, taking away some of the sticky stuff, guys are gripping the baseball, they're choking the baseball. You know, the only aspect of the pitch clock which seems to have, at the moment, credibility is almost to the point you just made. If you're doing something more often, more quickly, there's a greater chance that you're going to hurt something. It doesn't matter what event it is. And the pitch clock requires you to do that. You don't get the break that you used to get.
I think the other thing is, and listen, I wasn't like a four-seam fastball top of the zone guy. We didn't understand it as much then, honestly. But I probably threw 5 to 6 pitches, max effort, an entire game. That was it.
I heard Ben McDonald say the same thing. But maybe once or twice a game did I ever think, I got to really throw this as hard as I can.
And it just feels like, I mean, you know, you're covering a major league game every week, but it feels like there's a lot more max effort to where everybody is, not everybody, but more guys are max effort a higher percentage of the time. So to your point, there's just at some point it's probably going to break.
Well, the search for efficiency and the technology that everybody has in the bullpen. And Pompey goes, and this ball is lifted to left. It's shallow and playable. And Jones is there to make that play. He will throw behind Pompey, and oh, that's a double play! He almost lulled him to sleep. Involved in a 7-3 double play. You will lead off the next inning.
It's as old as the game of baseball. How often does it happen?
It is. You can write it in stone. It is absolutely a lock. Jason Jones had a good day at the plate last night. I'm thinking, if he can go yard, there's just not many who have gone 7-3 DP homer.
Yeah, I think the list would be Uno.
You don't think Manny Ramirez ever accomplished it?
No.
He was trying. 1-2. Jones followed by Rowland in the bottom of the fifth inning. The old Southwest Conference redo between these two teams, Arkansas and Texas Tech, on a 1-2. Right field. And it is caught out there by Owen Washburn. One man down. You're here to serve. Rowland swings at the first pitch, and Lysick really, after the walk and hit batter, has looked a lot different, retiring the last 4 in a row.
3 fly ball outs and a strikeout of Lovich down the 4th.
So last year, we had Langford in Florida, you had Skeens, and you had Cruz for LSU, and there was this feeling going into Omaha of the 8 that got there that LSU with those guys, and maybe even going into the tournament, were a likely team to get there, and then once they were there, a team that could really win it. Is there a super team this year? Is it different than last year?
I don't think there's a super team. I mean, no, I don't think that there is. But LSU still had their struggles last year. They got right at the end, and then Ty Floyd went out of his mind and made about $2 million in the last 3 weeks, and was a big part of the reason they made their run. But I do think there's a really good chance that we've got some of the highest draft picks that are playing in Omaha again this year.
Called strike 3 on the corner. Lysick punches out Parker Rowland. Assuming they get to Omaha.
Yeah, but I think there's a good chance that some will. I mean, you got Charlie Condon, Bazzano at Oregon State. They're going to be a top 8 national.
Wake Forest.
Braden Montgomery at A&M. They're going to be a top 8. You got Chase Burns at Wake. They're probably going to knock on the door to be a top 8 by the time it's done. Hagen Smith for Arkansas. They're going to be a top 8. So there'll be plenty of fuel there. At least there should be. We'll see what Florida ends up.
He's been impressive this year, and I knew it last year, but he's taken another step. Kurtz for Wake Forest has been terrific.
His last 2 weeks have been obscene. He's had 14 home runs in his last 10 games. He missed 3 weeks, and he's got 17 home runs.
Stovall's got a homer today. Oof, he went right down to that knee again. It's a good-looking swing, but it's 1-2.
Arkansas is just 2 hits, 2 solo home runs. That's it.
Boy, Lysick has really settled in. That is 6 in a row, including
offense. Cooper Dawson on right now, the sophomore right-hander. As Arkansas continues to go to that bullpen, kind of limit pitch count, make sure each one of these guys, each one of these teams has as much of that bullpen ready to go for the Friday opener in conference this weekend.
6th inning, 3-2. Red Raiders, Austin Green, a double, and then he was finally retired after a 5-for-5 night last night, and then a double to lead off here. He popped out to the second baseman, Stovall. This is the end of an 8-day, 6-game, 3-city road trip for Texas Tech, and coming inside Dossett, and he missed again. And for the first time this year, they've lost 3 games in a row. They had the last 2 at Texas Christian, TCU, 4-2, 4-3. So they've done a really good job of protecting against the longer losing streak, now 3 in a row. And their first trip to Arkansas since 2018. Kyle mentioned they got 4 Big 12 series remaining: West Virginia, OK State, Kansas, and also a series with Oklahoma. 3-0 fastball, strike 1 at 93.
And that's where Texas Tech can make a jump, because 3 of those 4 are the top 3 teams in the Big 12 right now, between West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State.
Off his foot. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Arkansas's got their hands full second half of the year, too. They go to South Carolina this weekend. Then the Gators come to town. Then you go to Kentucky, who's the top 8 right now. Mississippi State comes to town. Then you finish at Texas A&M.
That's a lot of top 8.
Yeah, yes. It's a full quarter of the top 8, and Arkansas is another one of them.
3-2, leadoff hitter here, Green. And he rolls it to second base, and that's eaten up by Stovall, and he is retired for the second time today. What Texas Tech brings to the table is that home run capability. Again, we talked about it last night, but against Abilene Christian, they hit 9 homers. 4 different players had multiple homers in the game.
I love their non-conference schedule that Tim Tadlock does every year.
This one is hit pretty well. The left center field. Holt is there just shy of the track. Woodcock's retired.
I mean, Tech started the season. They got beat by Tennessee. Then they beat Nebraska, Oregon, which are both regional teams as of today. Got beat by Oregon State. They played Stanford twice in a midweek. Obviously, you come here, play Arkansas twice in a midweek.
We just got through the NCAA basketball tournament, men's and women's. When you schedule non-conference, clearly it becomes a big deal on Selection Sunday. Same with baseball. And how much in advance do the schools try to schedule these non-conference opponents?
It depends. I mean, they're still filling schedules out for next year, so but some you could lock in a period of time out. Tim Tadlock has never been afraid to go play somebody, ever.
On the ground, and this should be an easy one for Aloy, and it is. Good inning there for Cooper Dossett.
Aloy from the right, then Souza from the left. A lot of alternating in this Arkansas lineup today. 5 lefties started in it.
Bottom third of the order, McGee, Washburn, Burns scheduled to hit. First up, McGee, the third baseman. Check that, Holt's up. Holt, McLaughlin, Aloy. Flip the page. You'll be fine. There's something fascinating about Rhodes on the mound, because there's some of that. There's a lot of that in there, and then he seemingly doesn't give up any. Yeah. Last night his miss was up and in to righties. He yanked that one. Holt grounded out twice. Then there it is. That was a breaking pitch, though, that didn't break.
Just about hit Holt's bat.
Yeah. Which could have ended up in a fair ball.
I mean, watch how close this is.
Yep. Three balls and a strike. We've had one playing of Wild Thing. Not sure. He poked the bear. Last night it seemed to lock Rhodes back in. Ouch. Too far inside, leadoff walk. That's a good start. Sunday afternoon, bats with the leadoff man on after a walk, trailing by a run. And Bridges' first one misses. 3-12, 7 homers, 30 runs batted in for McLaughlin. And you talk about guys, you know, you look at those advanced metrics. The OPS of 990 is third on the team for Arkansas. The on-base plus slugging. Souza leads them.
Yeah.
Wagner is 1184. Souza was 1080, over 1,000, and McLaughlin's 990. Those are the telling numbers. 2-0. Nope, 3-0.
This is kind of what happened in the ninth yesterday, where it was an error. Tech hits a guy, and then a fly ball's deep enough to end the ball game. It wasn't, at least in the inning, that Arkansas wanted, because they were hitting all around the ballpark, and they haven't so far tonight. Any extra help here, at some point they're going to strike.
Three and one. The wind is kicked up a little bit from right to left. Yep, 3 balls, 2 strikes now. Good battle back here by Bridges. It's coming in at 87 miles an hour. .380 with runners on.
We talked about it last night. Arkansas still has not given up double-digit runs all year. And how many Texas Tech has scored double-digit runs? 18 times?
18 games, yeah. Three-two. That ball is laced. And here goes Holt. Second base to third base. He'll get there standing up. Take his helmet off, and now men in the corners after McLaughlin's single. He's reached base 3 times, 2 walks and the single.
Pretty simplified here, just dropped the head on it. Left on left, stays all the way in. Really good approach by McLaughlin last night, who had walked his first 2 times up. Gets it back to a 3-2 count, sitting on a 3-2 fastball on the inner half. He hammers it to right. Arkansas's got 2 on, trailing by 1, and the big boy's coming up next.
Yeah, dangerous hitter. Vahiva Aloy, 9 homers, 35 runs batted in. .292 hitter with runners in scoring position. Big spot to tie it or grab a lead. Bridges holds up 1-0. Lloyd, you had said earlier too that Arkansas had given up almost 100 fewer hits than Texas Tech?
More than 100 fewer
More than
hits.
100 fewer hits. Aloy got hit, and he also grounded into a double play. Waited on that. He delivers the tying run. A single right between third and short. Back-to-back singles. Arkansas, the Hogs tie it up here in the bottom of the 6th, 3-3.
There's some flash in this swing. There's a reason why he was one of the most sought-after kids in the transfer portal last year. The WAC freshman of the year, Vahiva Aloy, that 101 off the bat. And the single scores 1 for the Hogs and ties it here in the 6th.
There's still nobody out, and here is Nolan Souza. He homered to left. Ball 1 after he squared. Runners on, 342 average. OPS 1119. Missed at the knees.
Arkansas just 8 sack bunts this year. Souza does not have any of them. 2-0 count right here. Let's see if Dave Van Horn takes it off, lets him swing away at least once.
Well, Stripling is way too close for a guy like Souza to be at first base if he's going to swing away. Instead, he lays one down, but it's foul. You surprised by that?
I thought maybe he'd turn him loose 2-0. See if he can get a fastball and drive it.
Well, he may get one here.
I was actually watching him bunt in BP because I'm kind of a dork, I guess, and those are the things that I watch. And
golf wasn't on.
He was, yeah, exactly. He looked good. I mean, it was a few to third, a few to first, and he was getting everything down.
McLaughlin's at second. Aloy's at first. 2-1, squares again. This time gets it down. He can run. There's the throw over, and Pompey is covering. So second and third now. One down, Souza. Your observation skills are keen. One out. Some damage in this bat, too. An OPS over 1,100. 3 homers, 7 RBI. You can see the shadows now creeping over home plate. More challenging for the hitter. Casey delivers 1-1. Yep, that's a good pitch on the corner, 1-2. Way off the line and left is Woodcocks. Plenty of room in the corner. 1-2. And this ball is driven to deep center field. Back there, Green makes the play, but here comes the runner from third, McLaughlin, and up to third goes Aloy. Razorbacks have the lead on the long sac fly from Jack Wagner. And give Souza credit because he got the runners to second and third.
Get him over, get him in. Sac bunt advances everybody 90 feet. Fly ball plenty deep enough not only to score McLaughlin, but allows Aloy to end up at third base.
Now Lovich trying to add a little insurance with Arkansas on top. Way inside. He may have looked out at Stripling at first, who was way behind the bag. Pretty good speed from Lovich, too.
He's clearly butting for a hit right there.
Jones on deck. 2 down. Gets the call on the inside corner.
Casey a little bit different than the book said.
Not a lot of fastballs right now.
No, nice scouting report, Kyle. Thank you.
Whose book is that?
No, but they have to take it back.
The 1-2. Spins another one, and he caught him looking. I think, if I'm not wrong, Lovich was That is Kyle Peterson with the bad book. This is Cade McGee, and that is ball 1. I think everybody was reading from the same book, though. Remember, we just talked about the offensive coach coming out with a whole bunch of papers saying, I think fastball, 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 and we just saw off speed, off speed, off speed.
He landed 3 breaking balls in a row.
There was a great story about, I think it was Kruk who was telling it, John Kruk, about Rivera the first time he faced him, and the scouting report sort of suggested he's an off-speed guy, and Kruk's leaning out over the plate, and he just buzzes the tower, and Kruk's not one to have bad info given to him. You're sure he handled it really well.
Doesn't react too well to that.
Snap factor can be pretty high.
When's the last time you saw Krucky?
I saw him recently. He does Phillies games with Tom McCarthy,
Yeah.
so I see him quite a bit. Doing good. Great guy. Great baseball guy. 3-1 popped up, heading over into foul territory. McLaughlin got it. Nice to go over into the shade to make the play. The ball really never left that area. Now he's back in the sun. Now, can Texas Tech rally, or can Arkansas's bullpen, without the guys that they used last night, the Friday night guys, land the plane for him? Toss it to Owen Washburn. He and his brother Jake on the team. With dad, the World Series winner, Jared Washburn. Coached both of them. You can see the resemblance right there in the face. Owen the younger. One and two. We've seen the slider and the fastball. He goes cheese up high and misses.
You can see Parker Rowland, the catcher, shaking his head yes on that. That's what they were trying to do. Elevate the fastball, see if he can get a chase. Now with 2 strikes, Nolan Souza, the third baseman, will vacate. Arkansas will go into a shift.
Nasty slider. Washburn is gone. 87-mile-an-hour pitch.
That's a pretty good one right there. Doesn't have a whole lot of side to side, which you don't necessarily want against a left-hander. He's trying to throw it in that spot. Started inside or just off the plate. It's not going to move towards that back foot very much, but he is going to go straight down, and Washburn swings right over the top.
Wilburn. Souza back to third. Good pitch there. Fastball looked good from the release at 93, 0-1. Missed there. So just go back to that Souza shift over there. They left basically the entire left side from the shortstop on. Wouldn't that tell the left-handed hitter that he's not going to throw a fastball? Because if you're late on the fastball, then it's going down the line. There's nobody there.
Well, he didn't that time, and the pitch before he did throw a fastball before they shifted. So
Before they shifted, yeah. So he shifts, and then I don't know.
I don't think they'd tip that much, but it did work out that way. That time they came back with a breaking ball.
But if you're going to shift that guy, why would you throw a fastball in that situation? Why would he?
I think in you're fine.
Yeah,
I think in you're fine. I mean, you probably don't want to leak something out over the plate. But the other thing is I don't think. I mean, you've had plenty of these conversations with pitchers in the big leagues. I also don't think you necessarily change approach based on shift. So whatever your best stuff is, I still think you lean on best stuff, and sometimes you may get beat with a backside ground ball.
Right. 3-2 on the way to the 9-hole hitter. Burns on the ground. Aloy. 3 hopper. And a good throw. A 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of
That's Oregon State. Kentucky has never been to Omaha. It's the only team in the SEC that's never made it to the College World Series. But now squarely in a pretty solid place to host. They hosted last year, weren't a top 8. This year they're in a great position to be a top 8.
1-0 to Jason Jones, and that's down 2-0.
How about Florida State, too? Link Jarrett, who took Notre Dame
Great.
just a few years ago. Last year they scuffled, which I think everybody thought they would. This year in position to be a top 8 national seed, and they've been outstanding from the jump this year.
3 balls, no strikes. He's been phenomenal, and it's amazing the ability. Look, players make coaches, players make managers, but the fingerprint you can put on a program quickly is pretty impressive.
Portal helped them. They
Yeah,
got a few good players, but they also have got some guys back who have made significant jumps that were there last year.
Watch it right
out.
off the helmet. Hope Jones is okay. He's saying to the home plate umpire wagers he is. Yeah, and you have got to go through the questions, the protocol, and everything when something like that happens. So Dave Van Horn will take Jones out of the game, and Wilmsmeyer will come in to pinch run for him. And again, on the surface, appears like he's okay, but given the situation and the importance of Jones, there's no reason to risk it.
No, not in a midweek game right there, right? That's a tough spot as a hitter, too, because 3-0, I mean, you're dialed up. If he's got the green light, he's dialed up to go after a fastball, and tough to get back into kind of a defensive position. He seemed to be moving around all right, but no reason to push it.
Now batting for the Razorbacks, number 44, Parker Rowland.
Out in the bottom of the 7th. Arkansas got 2 in the 6th to grab the lead, and the bunt push fouled. Rowland, the senior at 6'3", out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Didn't see Hudson White today. Saw him last night. A couple of Texas Tech transfers on this team. Hudson White and Mason Molina. Squaring again. And this time, good bunt to first. Really good bunt. Sacrifice has worked. We saw it from Nolan Souza earlier, and now you see it from Parker Rowland.
That's back-to-back innings. Now you turn the lineup over. Stovall's already gone deep today, walked in the 3rd, struck out his last time up.
Each team used 6 pitchers last night, and we're heading in that direction again tonight. Homer, walk, strikeout.
You got your maiden voyage at Herman's tonight. This is a big night for you.
Yeah.
This is kind of one of those days you're probably never going to forget.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should I wear the bear hat there?
I don't think they'd blink. You may get a better table.
Stovall, tough one on the ground. There's a race here to first. Out is the call. Stovall saying we got to go to the replay. The foot race between Stripling and Stovall.
That one looked like that could have been a little train wreck over at first base. I mean, you got 2 guys going right at each other as fast as they possibly can. Watch that front foot of Stovall, who gets there first. He
Stripling.
didn't. It looked like Stripling got there
He sure
first.
did. He beat him.
Inside part of the bag, too, to get out of the way. That's well done, because that would have stung for both of them.
Good hustle, great call, good play. And now the runner to 3rd. Swing and a miss. Changeup at 79. And Holt was way out in front. Now, this feels like one of those, when you look at the numbers tailor-made for Peyton Holt. He's .429 batting average with 2 outs and .368 runners in scoring position. KP, that is what we're looking at right here.
Math.
2 outs, RISP.
The math is trending in the Holt direction.
You got any suggestions on the menu tonight? What we should go with?
I don't want to. I mean, some kind of animal. I would encourage you to go that way.
You just encourage some kind of animal. Highlight of the day. 1-2, right field. Should be playable for Washburn, and it is. I'm going to ask one more time. What should I be thinking about? Championship number 1. He's got a really, really good team and a good chance. Top of the order here in the 8th. Cash, Pompey, Bazell. And towards the line, and it's going to get out of play. Down the third base side. Went to see Jimmy Dyke's daughter, Kennedy, announced that she would commit to Tennessee to be a cheerleader there. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Congratulations to the entire Dykes family on that, and all the other athletes around the country making their announcements on where they are going and the sport or activity they're pursuing. Big time of year for families. Get a chance to make those type of great announcements. Did you do that with Stanford? Did you go in front of the high school and say, I'm committing to Stanford?
Like with all the different hats and that whole thing?
Well, this was more of...
We did signing. Yeah, signing we did.
Yeah, you got a chance to thank, the coaches and the people that have supported you, and looking forward to spending the next X years at these universities.
They didn't give me a mic.
Oh, they did not. No, these people all had mics.
No, I got no mic.
Strikeout there of Cash with a good high spinning slider out of the zone.
Not sure if it's exactly what we want to throw out of your Dawson, but it definitely worked. He got 2 swings and misses on elevated breakables right there. Doesn't matter how, as long as it works. Cash goes down swinging, first strikeout for him tonight. Texas Tech had double-digit strikeouts last night, just 5 tonight.
High there to Pompey. And Pompey went 6-3, then a sacrifice and a walk. Didn't take off and try to steal the last time up, and he is a speedster. Only a 1-run game.
This dude's going to make a lot of money in a few years. Stays healthy, keeps playing this game. Just a true freshman and hitting over 350 coming in, an OPS north of 1,000. He can really run.
2-0. 3-0, and this is the guy you don't want to have on base. Arkansas sends Jake Faraday up and gives him a ball to throw, and he's running pretty warm right now in that bullpen for the Hogs. 3-1.
Cooper Dossett, this is already his longest outing of the season. For this, the longest he had gone is an inning a third twice.
This is 2 1/3. 3-1. Did he hold it? He did. That's a walk. And for Dave Van Horn, the question's going to be, when do you go to Faraday out of the pen, given the length that it's already gotten out of Dawson? Ball's going to be released in the sunshine and go right into the shadow. Signaling to his outfield to move a little bit against Bazell. Here it comes. And that's out of play. Bazell moved from third base to catcher. Dallas Baptist transfer after 2022. They got Maxey and Bazell. They got a couple of good catchers on this team.
Yeah, he made it through fall ball at Dallas Baptist and decided that he was going to transfer. So couldn't play that first year that he was at Texas Tech, but now last year more time at third base. This year back behind the plate more. He did DH yesterday.
.336 average, 4 homers, 27 runs batted in on the 0-1. Dave Van Horn thinking about getting Pompey moving. Does not have a very big lead. 0-2. Right back up the middle. Oh my goodness. Diving play at second. Wow. Stovall on a 102-mile-an-hour missile. Diving to his right to take away what likely could have been extra bases and a game-tying hit. Woo! What a play by Stovall.
And on cue, the Sports Center theme started playing in the background right after he made this play. Watch Stovall. I mean, you got no time to react. It's the first step is all that matters. He reads it off the bat, lays out. If he gets a handle on it, he's got a chance to potentially double Poppy off first. But it's the first one that matters the most right here. That is a big one. It'll get Dave Van Horn out of the dugout, and he'll make the short walk out. But a game-changing defensive play right there by Stovall, who led this one off with a 406-foot home run to step up from the left side of the plate.
And there you see Jake Faraday's numbers. The junior 6'3", Georgetown, Kentucky, 185. Throws it hard and some good numbers.
You could see some 97s, 98s right here. Average fastball velocity this year for Faraday right at 96.
Green hit that one hard on the nose right at the right fielder. Exit stage right to 100 in the pen. And McLaughlin looks at strike one. Yeah, if it ends up like this, just a frustrating loss last night for Texas Tech. They were up 7-1, and Arkansas came back to beat them, and now they are down a run. Yeah, that kind of look right there from Tip Tadlock shaking his head. Could have easily been a split. On a line to center, 3 feet to his left goes Green. McLaughlin retired. Aloy and Souza, the Hawaiian connection up now, so we get the lays out. Two and 0. 3-0. Pretty steady diet of lefties for Souza, who's on deck, and he will come up with his buddy Aloy at first base and one down.
I think this is one of the things that Dave Van Horn and this Arkansas coaching staff has to figure out with Souza is the ability to hit lefties.
Yep.
He's going to play against righties, that's for sure. But if he can show the ability to be consistent against lefties, you know the power plays. I think you're probably going to see him in there about every day the rest of the time.
Aloy is 6 for 6 when it comes to stolen bases, and Souza got a good one there that he fouled back. Outfield fairly straight away. In fact, Green is almost shaded a little to left, just a couple of feet. Good pitch, 0-2. That's 77 miles an hour. Is there even a slower gear? The first pitch was 80, that was 77. Aloy going. Tried the swim move, and he's in there safely. Sahiva Aloy, that ball beat him a little high on the throw, and then a swim move. 7 for 7 now.
Just high enough. I mean, if the ball's in the bag, Aloy's probably out. But in this case, Will Burns, a shortstop, has to go get it, try to slap that tag down, and sleight of hand. The other mitt comes back. The right hand goes in, and it looks like Texas Tech might want to take another look at this. Might as well. You can't take them home with it.
After review, the call of safe at second base stands. Texas Tech loses its challenge and has 1 remaining.
Vera January does that as well as anybody. He holds his arm up to let you know, I got it, and just, I'm letting you know I'm going to speak shortly.
Direct message. He'd be good at reading promos.
Phenomenal. Got some pipes. All right, 1-2 to Souza. Popped up, going over to take a look, but not going to be able to get it is McGee. Now, last night McGee had like 30 balls hit to him, and today it feels like he's had 1. Two errors in the 9th last night for Texas Tech. One on a tough hop to McGee, the other on a pitcher throwing down a second. Another 1-2. Now 2-2. Went upstairs and he struck him out.
It's big right there for Huffling. I mean, you get a little pause right there, got to stand out. Compose yourself, but he's trying to get that offense back to the plate in the 9th, trailing by just 1.
Now Wagner 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice, and yesterday 2 hits. Got a chance to drive in a big insurance run out there, and Aloy at second. Takes ball 1. One from Huffling. That's down 2-1. Fourteen strikes, 10 balls, 24 total pitches. Went change up and he bounced it. Now 3-1 count. And we will now send Jack Wagner down to first base on the intentional walk.
Now batting number 14, Ross Lovich.
Here comes Ross Lovich. Way inside to Helfrich, 1-0. Game in the balance in a 1-run game with Arkansas on top. Verity's been out of that bullpen for a while now. They may get somebody up just in case. Missing badly and not looking good doing it. 2-0. Chandler Lee up in the Tech bullpen. Max Huffling's gotta dig deep. Not there. 3-0. Boop.
Not the 9th inning today, but similar to the 9th yesterday. Arkansas doesn't have a hit in the inning, but they've loaded them up, and you know what happens when they load them up.
I
Out come
love
the lids.
this. Bring them out. There they are. can now. Fix the lid, fix the brim.
That's the upgraded version.
That one that's seen some things. That one has
that
seen
one's got some
things.
stories.
Yep. I'm just not certain that that was where the face was supposed to go. But Jason Jones is now up with the bases loaded. Aloy is down there at third base. Wagner is standing there at second. Oh, he threw it behind him and it got him. That's going to bring a run in. And a little bit of a surprise they even left him in given the walk that he had just thrown with 4 non. Another walk and then a hit batter. And Roland swings at the first one and sends it to the seats down the first base side. 5-3 in favor of Arkansas. They got themselves a little insurance. Roland on the ground, fielded at third. There's nobody at second, so we'll flip to first, and that will do it. That's the McGee guy we saw last night. Solid, opposed to actually the two teams that are on the field.
Opposed to the action on the field.
Right. You brought up the spring game in South Carolina, had nothing to do with baseball, and you brought up Myrtle Beach.
Both accurate.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. Woodcocks leads things off. They need some runners, and again, as Kyle likes to say, they need some points. Woodcock sent one to the track his last time up. Woodcock, Stripling, McGee, due up. And Jake Faraday ready again. That's pulled, that goes to the stop. 3-0 is not the count he was hoping to be in at this point. Deep breath, and Woodcock's the graduate student, 6 feet 205. Watch this one sail in there. Very easy 96. And coming in on a righty. That reeked of a foul ball off of an ankle. Ooh! Too far inside. And just like that, the tying run comes to the plate for Texas Tech.
There is activity in the Arkansas bullpen.
Stone Hewlett is up.
A left-hander up and thrown who primarily has just been a lefty matchup guy this year. I know.
Great note. Again, the man that was helping is a UFC cut man who fixes up the fighters in the corner, Doc Reeves.
So that's like his comfort zone right there.
He was absolutely in his wheelhouse, his zone. All right, we're ready again, and that pitch is outside. A little disjointed here to try to get this inning underway and get a pitcher who just came in comfortable. Hewlett to Stripling. Swing and a miss way out in front. 79 miles an hour on the pitch. Lovich ready in right field. Off first, Woodcocks. Good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Especially against lefties, that's really what he's going to lean on. Hewlett's going to throw about 70% sliders, so may try to surprise you fastball at some point, but for the most part, like he does there, I guess. But here comes the slider 2-2.
Stripling on the line, caught. That's an easy double play. Woodcocks doubled off.
Well, Texas Tech's had a few of these today that they have hit right on the button. They've just hit it right at Arkansas fielders. Twice it's been to Stovall at second. One time, had to lay out. The other time, that one was catching the sinking line drive. 1 pitch, 2 outs for Stone Hewlett. Now the Hogs and out away from winning this 2-game midweek series.
Makes facing a righty with nobody on a little bit easier. Cade McGee, swing and a drive. Left field, automatic. Everybody froze. Wow, was that a huge double play. Cade McGee quiets everyone with his 8th of the year, and it went 402 feet. Whew.
That's back-to-back days. Cade McGee hit one yesterday. Today hits another one, and they clear the stands. If not, I think we went top row. First pitch fastball, and this is leaned on. Hit it so hard his batting glove started falling off. Out beyond that bullpen in left field. Texas Tech boys looking up. That one swing makes it a 1-run game, and I think Tim Tadlock here, a lefty, was due up in Owen Washburn. Especially based on that swing right there against the right-hander.
100%.
Texas Tech will go back to the dugout, try in stride and make the throw.
Garrett Bohm and a right-hander, 0-1. One swing can now tie it. A massive shot by McGee and a huge double play. Good pitch just on the outside corner to jump ahead. 0-2. Bohm's only had 9 at-bats, but he's got 4 hits and a homer. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. And some words from the pitcher over to the bench, Texas Tech, Stone Hewlett. Not sure what that was about or why it was necessary, but Hewlett gets the strikeout. Arkansas sweeps the 2-game set. They win it today 5-4.